Hello, fellow Voyagers. Jess here with Odyssey Human, here today to talk about the rules of power. And the first one being inner persuasion is outer persuasion. Welcome to the channel. This is a place where we help you hack through the jungles of consciousness so you can discover the hidden treasures inside of yourself. My friends, it's all there, ready and waiting to be activated by you, through you, and for you. If that sounds good, please subscribe. We'd love to have you join us here on the channel. The next few videos are going to be about power. Power, the ugly word that everyone wants. I've been reading Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. And as I read that book, some of the rules make me cringe. Some of the rules, I'm like, that's interesting. But I'm reading them from the perspective of someone who has been in reality creation for a while and who teaches about it. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to make a few videos from and about power, right? Because power is something I don't ever hear people use that word. It's almost like taboo to say power anymore. But really deep down, we come to manifesting because we want to learn to be powerful. There's something in our life that we want changed, and we are looking for direction on what steps to take, what techniques to do, how to feel in order to bring about that change in our lives, right? In order to make it manifest. So let's just cut straight to the point that we all want power. It's okay that we all want power. And some of the more traditional ways of power were to kind of manipulate and influence the people around us, right? That's part of the games that we're playing on a constant basis. In order to feel like we have control in our lives, we want to feel control. We want to feel like we have a choice. We want to feel like we are not slaves to things that we have to do or forced to do, right? Both of our own volition and from other people who we may perceive have more authority than us. So power, let's just be open about it here. It really is an inside game. It is an inside game from the lens of manifesting because everyone is you pushed out. Now, that is not a topic I traditionally talk about on this channel. How I see everyone as you pushed out is that we interact with representations of everyone we know. We interact with representations of them, right? We've made a judgment about this person of who they are, how they behave, right? A prediction that we then calibrate our behavior to. Now, if you haven't seen last week's video on judgment and how to stay non-judgmental, check that one out. It is a good one. But that is how, that's who we're really interacting with, right? The version of them that we have created in our own mind. And so when I say power is an inside game and that inner persuasion is outer persuasion, we're really influencing ourselves, right? We are really self-persuading in order to change those representations, in order to shape them in ways that are both subtle and obvious. So, and there are some other more logical, when I say logical, kind of left-brained reasons why inner persuasion is outer persuasion. I, for one, love authenticity. I can sense it. It feels real to me. And so when someone is being authentic with us, right, their words are lining up with their body language, with their tone of voice, it's all in alignment. I think we all have bullshit detectors when someone isn't doing that. There are little body cues that they give away, right? They may be saying one thing, but their body language is saying another. And now I don't really trust them, or I doubt what the authenticity and the genuineness of what they're telling me because they're not fully persuaded, right? Their mind, their body, and their soul are not in full alignment with the truth they're trying to convey to me. And so I think when we do this for ourselves, when we fully persuade ourselves on all of those levels, we persuade others naturally. Because inspiration is the smart person's strong arm. Inspiration is the smart person's strong arm. What does that mean? We can all force other people into doing things. You may have natural power over, societal power over other people. Say you are their boss, or they are your younger sibling, or, they're your friend and you know that you have their ear. You can leverage that and force people into doing things and nag them and get them to try to do things for you. or you can inspire them. You can inspire them. You can paint a vision of where you see the situation going. You can, be passionate in your belief of something. Belief really is contagious, right? When you're all in a situation together, a group of you, and you are the one painting an optimistic picture, it's going to turn out okay, guys. I promise this is going to turn out okay. That inspires everyone around you, right? It guides them into a particular emotional outcome that they then get behind naturally, with you having to force them or mandate them into doing anything. So this is a game with yourself, how you influence others, and how you persuade yourself. So I actually have done this outright with a cover letter. The last formal job that I had, the last, full-time kind of hardcore job that I applied for, I only wrote during my search one cover letter. When I hadn't particularly been looking for a full-time job at that time, I happened upon the post by accident. I saw it and I was like, I am the person for this job. I was completely convinced. I was 100%, all of me was on board that this was the job for me. And I decided to be bold and put that in the cover letter. And I literally wrote the cover letter, kind of introduced myself, and then in the middle of the cover letter to what was going to be my boss, wrote, I am the person for this job. You might as well just hire me already. I boldly said that. And then I sent it off and I was like, okay, well, whatever happens, I'm fine. I didn't need it. I wasn't kind of clinging to results. Lo and behold, a couple weeks later, the job was mine. The job was mine. Like, there was not even in my absolute conviction that this was my job and outwardly saying, this is my job, right? I said it out loud to my potential boss and she believed me. She believed me and I was hired. Like, I just kind of flew through the application process and I was starting. Bada bing, bada boom. So that kind of self-persuasion, how do we totally convince ourselves so that we can literally say to the 3D, this is mine. Like, this is mine. Let's skip the formalities, friend. Let's just go straight to the end. How do we do that? We use the 3 faculties that we have that I talk about in every video. If you haven't seen the third eye video, check it out. It'll give you a good primer. But what are those 3? Our attention, our story, and our habits. So let's take the example of, I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I want other people to see me as beautiful. I want to feel beautiful, right? I want the behaviors and my behaviors, everyone's behaviors, to serve my belief of I am beautiful. So with my attention, I turn my attention to things that reinforce that belief. So if somebody calls me dog face on the street, someone's like, hey, dog face, I ignore it. I just am like, that's interesting. When it comes to my story, right, I am telling an outer and an inner story of I am beautiful. It's got to go both ways. So I am speaking in a way that supports my belief I am beautiful. Right? I'm not talking about how ugly I am. I'm not talking about the big zit on my nose. I am not doing that outwardly, and I'm not doing it inwardly. Right? I'm saying outwardly, oh my God, I went to this bar and all the guys were like falling all over me. And, and then inwardly, I'm not telling myself as I'm speaking that story, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, I hope she believes this story. Because really, there was only one guy really looking at me, honestly, and, blah, blah, blah. Before I put my makeup on, I'm really ugly as a dog. I'm not thinking that with my thoughts, with my other ideas, with my concepts. I am aligning my inner and outer stories and language to the perspective of I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. I'm calibrating to that. And then with my habits, the last part of the triangle, right? All 3 of our faculties, it's a 3-sided triangle. The last part of the triangle are our habits. Am I investing in the fact that I'm beautiful? Am I predicting that I am beautiful, right? Our mind is 90%. What we're doing with our mind, our activity in our brain is prediction. We're predicting. So am I predicting that I'm beautiful? Am I seeing everywhere that I go that, am I simulating with my habits? that I'm beautiful. I'm expecting beauty. I'm enjoying other people admiring me. Or is my habit, do I kind of like flinch when other people look at me? Am I kind of like, oh, no. Do I hide my beauty under, big hats and sunglasses? No. So all of those three things, when we are thoroughly convinced, right? This is about self-persuasion. When I have tackled all three of those bases, and we do this by belief, right? When we just say, we really believe this, I really believe it, that conviction will seep into all three of the sides of the triangle, right? Our attention, our language, our story, and our habits. It'll naturally influence all three of those faculties, and we'll get on board with that when we really believe it. It's just watching out for being double-minded. Don't be double-minded. Don't outwardly say, oh, I'm so beautiful, and then inwardly and like, oh my God, I'm only beautiful if I put all my makeup on and, get my girdle and do all this stuff and my chicken cutlets, I put in my bra and, my wig. Once I get all that stuff on, then I'm beautiful. We have to be single in our focus, right? That I am beautiful. And that level of self-persuasion persuades other people. It seeps, not only does it seep into our own capacities, right? Our beingness, how we show up with those three faculties I just talked about, but it influences our representations of other people. We're going to believe then that other people believe that we're beautiful, right? We're going to automatically, when we really get on board with that, belief is contagious, right? It permeates everything. When you really get on board with something, it permeates everything, including our representations of other people. I really think that's how we see people, see us. And so this is all about self-control. How much power is about self-control? Self-control is the most attractive quality that we can have. Because when we know that and act and behave and show others that self-control, we are in control of ourselves. We don't buckle under pressure. We are not easily manipulated. That in itself is its own freestanding power. And so what we're going to do in these next few videos and in today's video is really talk about self-control. Self-control. And the number one thing I want you to take away from today is that inner persuasion is outer persuasion. You don't have to force anyone to do anything. When you are fully on board with your belief in your vision, you can paint a picture for someone that is so convincing that they will be there with you. Think about any infomercial you have ever seen. Like, wow, after 5 minutes, you're like, oh my God, sign me up for this. Sham wow. I will pay 20 bucks for this, of course. You're going to get so into it, right? Paint people a picture. Invite them into your end with your belief. And that is all about self-control, right? Managing those three faculties that you have, being completely on board with all of them, demonstrating through each of your attention, your habits, and your story, the language you're using, that you believe in that your end state is not only possible, but it's inevitable, and other people will follow you there. If you need a tool sorry, my nose is itchy too. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought of today. And if you need a tool to help you get your mind on board with being a more peaceful, loving, calm place, that is always in the description box for you. Grab it below. Let me know what you thought of today's video. I'm happy to engage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.